y'all, welcome back to my channel. So this is a special requested video. Today we're gonna talk about black men who aren't dusty but aren't quite where they need to be. One thing that I want black women to understand, I'm always gonna try to tell the truth in love, as easy as I can put it. A lot of us have been in a situation where we were dealing with a man who had so much potential. He may even have had goals, things that he would talk about with you that he wanted to do, maybe start his own business. But what I want women to understand is you can't tell a grown man what to do. You can't make a grown man do anything. Trust me, I've tried. Haven't we all? Listen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so that you can be tuned in on all the conversations, so that you can maybe send me some video topics that you would like to hear me discuss and hear me talk about. Hit the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. But anyway, I'm gonna get back into it. So one thing that a lot of women we struggle with is women tend to pour into men. I don't consider myself the most ambitious woman. We all know black women are very, very ambitious. Black women have been the leaders in starting businesses for the last few years. We aren't playing. So sometimes dealing with black men can be difficult, to say the least, because a lot of black men have a defeatist mindset. A lot of black men want the easy route. They want things handed to them. And black women just don't operate like that. When black women only want to date within the black race, you end up dealing with lower quality of men. The black men in the black community tend to not be as successful, not be as educated, not be as ambitious as black women. A lot of black men are starting businesses and things and are very successful, but a lot of those successful black men don't desire black women, and that is the space we have to recognize and operate from. Before I go into my own story, so now we have an understanding that we can't make men do anything. What you can do is what's in your power, and that is to figure out what you want as a woman. And I'm not in the business of belittling men. This is what it is. This is the reality. We have to figure out what it is we want. What is the type of man that we want? Now, I'm not saying make a checklist, but I am saying have and understand and know your deal breakers. Do you want to deal with a man who make less money than you, who's less ambitious? When you're dealing with a man who isn't quite living up to your potential, listen, you may like him now because it's early stages. Maybe y'all aren't married, maybe y'all don't have children. Once you are in a more committed situation, once you get married, once you have children, that is gonna amplify his shortcomings. And this is why it's important for us as women to know what we want, know exactly what we want, and don't settle for anything less than that. You're gonna be miserable. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in a year, but as time go on, it's gonna annoy you to the point where it's almost unbearable, when you could have prevented it by understanding what you wanted out of a man, what you needed out of a man, and if that particular man that's in your life right now is capable of that. One way that I determine if a man is capable of giving me what I need is his patterns of behavior. The way I operate, and again, you don't have to operate the way I operate, but I operate from a place of logic, from a place of reason over emotion. What has he been doing for the last few years? For an example, a black man that say he love all women, he like dark-skinned women. Who are his last 3 girlfriends? Who are the women he was in relationships with for the last few years? If they're light, bright, almost white, all of them, and maybe one pecan brown sprinkled in, guess what he's attracted to? So people say a lot of things, and that's how men pull on women's heartstrings and emotions. But pay attention to what they do. Pay attention to the patterns. Pay attention to what they've been doing to kind of make a educated guess on what they'll do in the future, because a lot of people don't change their habits. If you don't know what's acceptable and what's unacceptable unacceptable for you, there is no way for you to actually set standards. There's no way for you to pick up on red flags. We have to understand. We have to be able to spot red flags, spot patterns, so that we can make well-informed decisions. Men in potential is something that Black women have been struggling with since forever. Dealing with men who, with their shoulda, coulda, wouldas, with what they want to do, what they gonna do, but they haven't done anything yet. You don't get a year, you don't get 2 years to try to come up with a plan. You take a few months or however long to come up with a plan, and you start implementing that plan. Within a year, I need to see tangible results. Otherwise, it's fluff and it's smoke and mirrors. If there's any Black women listening to this who may not be ready to date outside of Black men, you need to understand that when you're dealing with a man, don't deal with him for his potential. Please don't. You're gonna fail every time. And if you don't, you're the exception to the rule. If you want to continue to date dusties, not saying all Black men are dusties, you need to be able to accept him if he don't change. If he's the way he is right now for forever, you need to be content with that. If you're questioning it at all, trust me, go ahead and let it go. Weigh your pros and cons. If you have little issues with it, you may be able to ignore it now, but you won't be able to ignore it forever. So it's really, you need to be able to deal with this man forever if nothing about him ever changes. Men are men inherently, women are women inherently, and a lot of times we pour into men who don't pour into themselves, who don't want to do the work themselves, and we can't do that. You're gonna stress yourself out, you're gonna take food out of your own mouth worrying about the next person when you could be moving on to somebody who can elevate you. You shouldn't be elevating a man, period. I was in a relationship with a pretty decent Black man. He was a great person, but he had all of these hopes and dreams. He had all of these things that he wanted to do, and within a 4 or 5 year span, nothing ever really got done. He would do things here and there, but it was never consistent. And at the beginning of our relationship, I really held on. This when I was still being on my little mammy tip, on my little pick-Misha tip. And I was holding on to this potential, holding on to his words. Oh, I'm not gonna do this forever. I wanna start my own business, da 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 da. Time moved on, nothing changed. And I operate from a place of consistency. I, as a woman, need to feel secure. If I don't feel secure, I'm not gonna let anything go, and I'm gonna become a nuisance, plain and simple. I began to level up. I began to set standards. I began to understand the way men operate, the way I operated as a woman, because I was one of those women too who would hold on to potential. Oh, he's gonna get better. This ideal in my mind. I would lay in my bed at night thinking, oh my God, we would be such when we when this and that happens. Oh, we're gonna be such an amazing couple. We have such great chemistry. Black men and women never have an issue with chemistry, especially sexual chemistry. But we need something more than that. So I would lay in my bed just daydreaming sometimes, thinking about all the places we can be, imagining us being happy, us being on vacation, us having our children, and us being in a big house and just growing old together. All of this was a fabrication. All of this was in my head. At the end of the day, what did he do? Nothing. I, as a woman, got tired of making more money. I, as a woman, got tired. He even told me this on several occasions. Letting myself be a mule. I sat and like, no, it's okay, it's okay. No, men don't operate like that. And he was telling me this, I mean, in physical words. And then it dawned on me, you know, after doing research, after watching, you know, level up people, gurus and stuff on YouTube, watching, you know, Crystal and Karen, watching just different women on YouTube, and I started putting two and two together. I, as a woman, I'm not okay. I'm not gonna inevitably be okay with being the breadwinner. And I had to come to terms with that. Now I understand what I can and what I can't deal with. Even though I don't think that I disrespected him anyway, because I'm naturally a respectful person, and I would never want to belittle or disrespect a man because they have such large egos, and I need his ego to get what I want out of him. I didn't have much internal respect for him as I would had he been the man that I needed him to be, had he been the genuine protector and provider. So I just had to let it go. So if you decide to stay. But if you decide to level up and let go, you have to let go from the inside out. A lot of us sit and lie to ourselves. A lot of us sit and fabricate these stories and almost psychologically start to believe them, and it starts to become a reality for us in our own minds. If a man truly loves you, he will do what he has to do to step up with little to no assistance from you. And I'm not gonna get in the way of a man being a man. So I'm not gonna push a man to his potential, push a man to be great, loan him money, no more. And trust me, I've been there too. I've loaned men money. I'm not gonna do that anymore. It's not okay for us as women to think we can push men into a higher place. We can't. He has to want to be there, because 9 times out of 10, when you are the starter wife, when you push men into a higher elevation, they leave you for a woman who's better. Men elevate and they go get a woman who only see them as a strong, put together man. Yes, there are plenty of men that aren't dusty, that are good men, but just have maybe okay during their little 9-to-5 job, not really bringing in any money, but you know, maybe have pipe dreams. That's pipe dreams because he won't actually put in the effort and be consistent with getting better and leveling up himself. But are they good enough for you? If you have ambition, if you're successful, find someone on your level, even if they're out of the black community, because the odds of you finding a black man who's on your level or higher, and I prefer higher, is very slim. So we really have to operate from a place of realism and from a place of logic, because yes, there's good men, but being a good man is not gonna pay my bills. When you raise your standards, being a good man is the bare minimum. That's not a requirement. Having a job is not a standard. That is just the basics. What we as women need to do is understand what we want, understand our desires, understand what will make us happy, because a lot of us don't know. And when you can do that, you can set standards. When you can set standards, you can maintain standards. When you can maintain standards, you'll vibrate on a frequency that will attract a higher caliber man, and that will attract someone who will fulfill every need and every desire that you have. So that is all that I have for this video, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm so grateful that you took time out of your life to sit with me and watch my little video. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.